4 dangerous breads you should never touch, and 4 you must eat daily. Senior health tips. For millions of Americans, bread is a daily habit. But after decades of eating the same kinds of loaves, new research shows that certain breads could be silently damaging your health, especially as you get older. They can spike your blood sugar faster than candy, feed harmful belly fat, and even make it harder for your brain to form new memories. And the worst part? These breads are often labeled as healthy, so most people don't think twice about eating them. But choosing the right bread could mean the difference between steady energy and constant fatigue, between strong digestion and daily bloating, between a sharp mind and early memory decline. In this video, we'll expose the 4 breads you should never touch, no matter how tempting they look, and reveal the 4 breads that could help protect your heart, your brain, and your independence for years to come. Dangerous bread number 1. White sandwich bread. It's the loaf most of us grew up with. Soft, fluffy, perfectly square, and often sold in bright, cheerful packaging that promises it's fortified with vitamins and minerals. But the truth about white sandwich bread is far from comforting. This type of bread is made from refined white flour, which has had the bran and germ removed during processing. That's where most of the natural fiber, healthy fats, and essential nutrients live. What's left behind is almost pure starch, which your body digests extremely quickly. In fact, eating a slice or 2 of white bread can cause your blood sugar to spike just as much as a sugary soda. For someone over 60, this is especially dangerous. Our bodies naturally become more resistant to insulin as we age, and repeated sugar spikes can accelerate that resistance, leading to type 2 diabetes, higher triglyceride levels, and greater inflammation throughout the body. In a 2020 Harvard School of Public Health study, researchers found that people who regularly consumed high glycemic index foods like white bread had up to a 49% higher risk of developing serious heart problems. For older adults, the numbers were even worse, because slower metabolism means your body takes longer to process and recover from those sugar highs and crashes. And it's not just about heart health. Unstable blood sugar can lead to fatigue, irritability, and even impaired brain function over time. I remember speaking with a 72-year-old man named Richard who told me he thought his constant afternoon yawns and brain fog were just part of getting old. But when his doctor suggested he switched from white sandwich bread to whole grain rye, he was stunned at the difference. Within weeks, his energy lasted through the entire day, and his blood sugar readings stabilized. And don't be fooled by labels like enriched or vitamin fortified. Those added nutrients don't replace the complex web of natural vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds that are lost during processing. Think of it like stripping an old oak tree down to just its trunk. It may still stand, but all the branches and leaves that gave it life are gone. Worse still, many brands add extra sugar or corn syrup to improve flavor, along with preservatives to extend shelf life, both of which can contribute to inflammation and weight gain. Better tip: if you love soft bread but want to protect your heart, brain, and blood sugar, switch to a 100% whole grain or sprouted grain bread. Look for 100% whole wheat or sprouted whole grains as the first ingredient, and check that it has at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. The fiber slows sugar absorption, keeps you fuller for longer, and helps maintain steady energy throughout the day. Dangerous bread number 2. Wheat bread that isn't whole. Wheat. Many people think they've made the healthier choice when they swap out white bread for something labeled wheat bread. After all, wheat sounds natural, hearty, and wholesome. But here's the trap. In most supermarkets, wheat bread is just white bread in disguise. The first ingredient is often enriched wheat flour, which is simply refined white flour with a darker color, sometimes achieved with molasses or caramel coloring. While the packaging might show golden fields and rustic loaves, what you're really getting is nearly the same fast-digesting starch that spikes your blood sugar and drains your energy, just with a different shade. This kind of misleading labeling is one of the biggest food marketing tricks out there, and it's especially harmful for seniors who are trying to make better choices. A 2019 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who thought they were eating whole grains but were actually eating refined wheat products saw no significant improvement in blood sugar control, cholesterol levels, or weight management. That's because without the full bran and germ, you're missing the fiber and healthy plant compounds that slow digestion and reduce inflammation. Over time, eating these fake whole wheat breads can increase your risk of insulin resistance, belly fat accumulation, and cardiovascular strain. I once met a retired teacher named Linda who had been faithfully buying wheat bread for over a decade, believing it was keeping her healthy. But when her doctor ran a set of blood tests, her fasting glucose was creeping into pre-diabetic territory, and her cholesterol was up. She was shocked to learn that her bread was mostly refined flour with only a sprinkle of whole grains. When she switched to a certified 100% whole grain bread, she noticed not only better lab results, but also fewer afternoon cravings and a more stable mood. Another hidden problem is sodium. Many of these so-called wheat breads contain more salt than white bread to compensate for flavor, which can quietly raise blood pressure over time. Someone over 60, or even small increases in sodium, can strain the heart and kidneys. That's a risk you don't want to take. And if you pair that with the rapid digestion of refined carbs, you're getting a double hit. A quick sugar spike followed by extra fluid retention and cardiovascular stress. Better tip: always check the ingredient list. The first word should be 100% whole wheat or whole grain, not enriched or refined. And aim for breads that have at least 3 grams of fiber and less than 150 milligrams of sodium per slice. Your heart, blood sugar, and digestion will thank you, and you'll avoid one of the sneakiest food industry traps out there. Dangerous bread number 3. Flavored and sweetened breads. Cinnamon raisin, honey oat, maple brown sugar, even pumpkin spice bread. They sound cozy, comforting, and perfect for breakfast. But for seniors, these sweetened breads can be a hidden health hazard. The problem isn't just the added sugar itself, though that's bad enough. It's how quickly these breads turn into sugar in your body. Many flavored breads start with refined flour, already stripped of fiber and nutrients, and then pile on extra sweeteners like brown sugar, honey, molasses, or high fructose corn syrup. The result? A loaf that can send your blood glucose soaring within minutes. And because these breads are often eaten in the morning, they can set you up for an all-day roller coaster of energy crashes, cravings, and mood swings. The sugar content in some of these loaves is shocking. A single slice of certain cinnamon raisin breads can contain 6 to 8 grams of sugar, and that's before you add jam, butter, or other spreads. Eat 2 slices for breakfast, and you're starting your day with more sugar than a chocolate chip cookie. Over time, this daily habit can contribute to insulin resistance, belly fat accumulation, and an increased risk of heart disease. In a 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients, researchers found that older adults who consumed higher amounts of added sugars had significantly higher rates of metabolic syndrome, a dangerous cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess abdominal fat. I remember meeting a 68-year-old woman named Carol who loved her morning routine: 2 slices of honey wheat bread with a little margarine, plus a cup of coffee. She thought she was making a smart choice compared to donuts or pastries. But after months of feeling sluggish and noticing her waistline expand, she asked her doctor to run some tests. Her A1C, a measure of average blood sugar, had jumped into pre-diabetic range, and her triglycerides were high. When she switched to an unsweetened whole grain bread and paired it with protein-rich toppings like eggs or nut butter, she lost 8 pounds in 3 months and felt sharper in the mornings. Another issue with these sweetened breads is that they can dull your taste buds over time. The more sweet flavors you consume daily, even in bread, the harder it becomes to enjoy naturally mild foods like plain oats or fresh vegetables. This can create a cycle of craving more sweetness, which is the last thing most seniors need for long-term health. Better tip: if you love a hint of sweetness, skip the pre-sweetened loaves and buy plain 100% whole grain bread. Add your own natural toppings, like fresh berries or a thin spread of pure fruit jam without added sugar. This way, you control both the portion and the quality of the sweetness, keeping your blood sugar and waistline in check. Dangerous bread number 4. Gluten-free white bread made with starch. At first glance, gluten-free bread sounds like a healthier, gentler option, especially for people worried about digestion. But here's the surprising truth. Unless you have celiac disease or a diagnosed gluten sensitivity, many gluten-free white breads can actually be worse for your health than regular bread. Why? Because instead of using whole wheat or other fiber-rich grains, they often rely on refined starches like white rice flour, tapioca starch, or potato starch. These starches digest even faster than regular wheat flour, sending your blood sugar skyrocketing and then crashing. That means more fatigue, more cravings, and more stress on your heart and metabolism. A 2018 study in the British Journal of Nutrition compared the blood sugar impact of gluten-free breads made with refined starches to traditional white wheat bread. The result? The gluten-free versions often had a higher glycemic index, meaning they spiked blood sugar faster and higher. For older adults, that spike isn't just uncomfortable. It can accelerate age-related metabolic decline and increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. And because these breads are often lower in protein and fiber, they don't keep you full for long, leading to overeating later in the day. Another hidden danger is that many gluten-free breads are loaded with additives to mimic the texture of real bread. You'll often find gums, emulsifiers, and excess salt, which can cause bloating, digestive discomfort, or higher blood pressure over time. I once spoke with a 66-year-old man named James, who switched to gluten-free white bread because he thought it was easier on the stomach. But after months of feeling more tired and noticing his belt size go up, his doctor traced the issue back to his bread choice. When James switched to a high-fiber, whole-grain gluten-free bread made with brown rice flour, quinoa, and seeds, he not only felt better, but also dropped 12 points off his fasting blood sugar in just 2 months. Marketing can be very misleading here. Words like gluten-free are often associated with healthier, but in reality, removing gluten doesn't automatically make a product good for you, especially if it's just replacing one refined carb with another. And for seniors, where steady blood sugar and nutrient density matter more than ever, that swap can be costly. Better tip: if you truly need to avoid gluten, choose a gluten-free bread made from nutrient-rich whole grains and seeds like quinoa, buckwheat, or millet. Check the label for at least 3 grams of fiber per slice and avoid breads with starches as the first 2 ingredients. This way, you get the gentleness of gluten-free without the blood sugar roller coaster. Healthy bread number 1 to 100% whole grain bread. If there's one bread that deserves a permanent spot in your kitchen after 60, it's 100% whole grain bread. Unlike refined breads, this loaf keeps all 3 parts of the grain, the bran, germ, and endosperm, intact. That means you get the full package of fiber, plant compounds, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbohydrates your body needs for steady energy and long-term health. Fiber is the real star here. It slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream, helps maintain a healthy weight by keeping you full, and even supports your gut microbiome, the community of good bacteria that's been linked to everything from stronger immunity to better brain health. A 2020 study from Tufts University found that older adults who ate at least 3 servings of whole grains per day had significantly lower blood pressure, smaller waist circumferences, and better cholesterol levels compared to those who ate mostly refined grains. This isn't just about numbers on a chart. It's about how you feel every day. Steady energy means you're more likely to go for that walk, play with your grandkids, or stay sharp during long conversations. And because whole grains contain important nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and antioxidants, they also help protect your bones, heart, and cognitive function as you age. I think of a woman named Margaret, age 71, who told me she used to skip breakfast because bread always made her crash. When she learned the difference between wheat bread and true 100% whole grain bread, she decided to try it for a month. She paired 2 slices with avocado and eggs in the morning, and by week 3, she noticed her afternoon energy slumps disappearing. Her digestion improved, her doctor reduced her cholesterol medication, and she said she felt light but strong for the first time in years. Another key benefit is the impact on digestive health. The fiber in whole grain bread helps keep bowel movements regular and prevents constipation, a common issue for seniors that can lead to discomfort and other complications. The slower digestion also means you avoid the roller coaster effect of refined carbs, which is crucial for stable mood and focus. Better tip: when shopping, ignore the color of the bread. Dark bread isn't always whole grain. Read the ingredient list and make sure the first word is 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat. Aim for at least 3 grams of fiber per slice and avoid added sugars in the first 3 ingredients. This will give you all the benefits without the hidden pitfalls. Healthy bread number 2. Sprouted grain bread. Sprouted grain bread is one of the most nutrient-rich options you can put on your plate, especially after 60. What makes it unique is that the grains are allowed to germinate, meaning they start to sprout before being ground into flour. This natural sprouting process unlocks nutrients that are normally harder for your body to absorb and lowers compounds like phytic acid that can block mineral absorption. The result is a bread that's easier to digest, higher in bioavailable vitamins and minerals, and packed with plant-based protein. For seniors, that protein is especially important because it supports muscle maintenance, which naturally becomes harder with age. Sprouted grains also have a lower glycemic index compared to regular whole grain bread, meaning they release sugar into your bloodstream more slowly. That helps prevent the sharp spikes and crashes in blood sugar that can lead to fatigue, irritability, and increased diabetes risk. In a 2019 study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, researchers found that older adults who replaced refined bread with sprouted grain bread saw improved insulin sensitivity and reduced markers of inflammation within just 12 weeks. I remember meeting a 65-year-old retired nurse named Joanne who had been struggling with bloating and occasional indigestion, even after switching to whole wheat bread. She tried sprouted grain bread as a last resort after hearing about it from a friend. Within 2 weeks, she noticed her digestion felt smoother, her energy stayed steady until dinner, and she felt less puffy overall. Her doctor later told that the sprouted bread's higher magnesium content was also helping to regulate her blood pressure naturally. Another advantage of sprouted grain bread is the amino acid profile. Because the sprouting process starts to break down starches into simpler compounds, it makes more room for amino acids, the building blocks of protein, and can even increase antioxidant levels like vitamin C and E in the bread. This is something you simply don't get from refined or non-sprouted whole grain breads. Better tip: Look for sprouted grain breads that list multiple whole sprouted grains, like sprouted wheat, barley, millet, or lentils, in the first few ingredients. Avoid those with added sugars or syrups, which can cancel out the blood. Sugar benefits. Keep them in the freezer to maintain freshness. And toast slices directly from frozen for a quick, nutrient-rich base for your meals. Healthy bread number 3. Rye bread, especially 100% whole rye or pumpernickel. Rye bread is a powerhouse for seniors who want better blood sugar control, improved digestion, and long-lasting energy. Made from rye flour, ideally 100% whole rye. This bread is naturally denser and darker than wheat bread, with a distinct hearty flavor. But the real magic of rye lies in its unique type of fiber called arabinoxolin, which is especially effective at slowing the digestion of carbohydrates. This means that even though rye bread contains carbs, they're released into your bloodstream gradually, keeping your blood sugar steady and preventing the crashes that can leave you feeling weak or unfocused. A 2016 study from the University of Eastern Finland found that middle-aged and older adults who ate high-fiber rye bread for just 12 weeks had significantly improved insulin sensitivity compared to those eating wheat bread, even when calorie intake was the same. For seniors, this can be the difference between stable energy and daily sugar cravings. Another study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that rye bread promoted a greater feeling of fullness than wheat bread, helping with appetite control and weight management. I recall talking to an active 69-year-old named Frank who had been fighting stubborn belly fat for years despite exercising regularly. His dietitian suggested swapping his lunchtime white roll for 2 slices of dense pumpernickel rye. Within 3 months, he lost 2 inches from his waist without changing anything else in his routine, and he reported fewer mid-afternoon hunger pangs. He also mentioned that his digestion improved noticeably, something many people experience because rye's fiber feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn can boost immunity and reduce inflammation. One more thing that makes rye bread valuable is its micronutrient content. Whole rye contains more magnesium, phosphorus, and iron than refined wheat breads, all of which are vital for bone strength, nerve function, and oxygen transport, areas where seniors often need extra support. However, it's important to watch for rye breads that are actually just wheat bread with a touch of rye flour and caramel coloring for appearance. True rye bread should list rye flour as the first ingredient, and if it's pumpernickel, it should be made from coarsely ground whole rye grains, giving it that signature dense texture. Better tip: choose 100% whole rye or authentic pumpernickel bread for the full health benefits. If you find the flavor strong, start by mixing it with your regular whole grain bread and gradually increase the rye slices. Pair it with protein-rich toppings like smoked salmon or hummus to create balanced, blood sugar-friendly meals. Healthy bread number 4. Multigrain seed bread. Multigrain seed bread isn't just about variety. It's about layering different nutritional benefits into every slice. The multigrain part means the bread is made from more than one type of whole grain, such as oats, barley, millet, quinoa, or buckwheat, while the seed part adds nutrient-dense ingredients like flax seeds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, or sesame. For seniors, this combination can be a game-changer. You're getting a broader spectrum of vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds than you would from a single-grain bread, plus healthy fats from the seeds that help reduce inflammation and protect your heart. What's particularly valuable is the omega-3 fatty acids found in seeds like flax and chia. These healthy fats are anti-inflammatory, supporting joint mobility, brain function, and cardiovascular health. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who regularly consumed flaxseed saw reductions in blood pressure and improvements in arterial flexibility, both crucial for preventing strokes and heart attacks. The seeds also provide extra protein and fiber, which help preserve muscle mass and keep digestion regular. I think of a 70-year-old woman named Helen, who had struggled with mild arthritis and occasional brain fog. After her nutritionist suggested adding multigrain seed bread to her diet, she swapped out her regular toast for 2 slices topped with almond butter in the mornings. Within 6 weeks, she reported less morning stiffness in her hands, fewer sugar cravings, and a more stable mood throughout the day. Her doctor also noted a small but meaningful drop in her LDL cholesterol. Another advantage of multigrain seed bread is its effect on satiety. The combination of complex carbs, fiber, and healthy fats keeps you full for hours, making it easier to avoid unhealthy snacking. And because different grains have different nutrient profiles, you're covering more nutritional bases in one meal. Just be careful. Some supermarket multigrain breads use mostly refined flours with only a sprinkling of whole grains and seeds for decoration. Those won't give you the same benefits. Better tip: when choosing a multigrain seed bread, make sure the first ingredients are whole grains, not enriched or refined flour, and that seeds are listed within the top 5 ingredients. Aim for at least 4 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber per slice for the most staying power and nutritional impact. Bread isn't just a side to your meal. It can be a daily choice that either builds your health or slowly chips away at it. For years, many of us have been reaching for the same loaves out of habit, trusting the labels and the marketing, without realizing the impact on our blood sugar, our hearts, our digestion, and even our minds. But as we've seen today, the difference between a refined white loaf and a true whole grain, sprouted, rye, or multigrain seed bread is enormous, especially after 60. The right bread can give you steady energy, protect your heart, support your brain, and keep your digestion strong. The wrong bread can silently push you toward diabetes, weight gain, and fatigue. The good news? Change can start with your very next trip to the grocery store. Begin by reading the labels carefully, looking for 100% whole grains, sprouted ingredients, or dense rye and seed blends. Leave behind the breads that spike your blood sugar, hide behind misleading labels, or pack in unnecessary sugar. And don't be afraid to experiment. Taste preferences, adapt quickly, and in just a few weeks, you may find you prefer the rich, hearty flavors of nutrient-packed breads over the soft, empty slices you once relied on. Your body is always rebuilding itself, even now. Every cell, every muscle, every part of you is fueled by the choices you make. The bread you eat each day can either slow you down or help you keep living with strength, clarity, and independence. The choice is yours. And after today, you have the knowledge to choose well.